Gupta Shanya Abjugik Mazey Ortega Anya Bamjid Shtuklak Jikshan San Pedro Community Nya Gary Ortega Ninja Monica Cleveland. Hello, my name is Mazey Ortega and I am a transfer student at the University of Arizona, majoring in medical science. I was born and raised in Arizona in a small village called San Pedro in the Shtuklak district. I am Thanaatam Shoshone Paiute and I was brought up alongside my siblings and cousins on the Thanaatam Nation, which is the second largest tribe in the U.S. and is the size of Connecticut. When it comes to pursuing my education, it felt like a struggle, and like most Native youth that received their education on the reservation, I was very much behind in the curriculum, so much so that I was not expected to be promoted from middle school, let alone graduate high school or even attend college on the schedule I was hoping to. Knowing that I was going to be left behind was scary, but what terrified me even more was why this was happening. Was it something that I had done? However, despite the challenges, I am here today and learning new things about the never-ending struggle Native scholars face when it comes to pursuing their education, and how to properly weaponize my education through Native student outreach, access and resiliency, or Native SOAR. Many of us have a story as Indigenous scholars and have different goals that we set for ourselves. However, it is when we as Indigenous students decide to further our education, learn that the educational system was not created for us. As I grew older and decided to pursue my education, it was then that I learned what it truly meant to pursue, or more like fight, to receive my education. I was lucky enough to have parents who knew this and taught me that it was important to know how to navigate the educational system, as they have offered comfort, support, and encouragement. At the time, coming to the University of Arizona was an eye-opener, as I have traveled to Tucson many times but was unaware of what the University of Arizona was. However, as diverse and welcoming as it was, there was still the question that I had as I set foot on campus, which was, where are all the natives at? It was then that I felt the pressure and fear of not belonging. With each passing day, the feeling grew heavier and more suffocating. I often questioned why I felt this way. Could it have been the culture shock that my mom had told me about, or was it me? Did I truly not belong? It wasn't until I read Amanda Articini's Native Presence and Sovereignty in college, Sustaining Indigenous Weapons to Defeat Systematic Monsters, that I learned that there is a continuous presence of systemic monsters for all underrepresented students. One of the systemic monsters is the challenge to sense of belonging, as it is mentioned of the two Native brothers that toured the University of Colorado and were wrongfully detained and almost removed, and it is stated in the article. And as the incident at Colorado State University demonstrated, educational institutes continue to be sites of oppression that disrupt notions of belonging. This statement addresses that universities often challenge Native students and their sense of belonging, but it is with programs such as Native SOAR, Native American Student Affairs, Thanaatam Student Association, American Indian Indigenous Health Alliance, and many other programs that exist on the U of A campus today are a perfect example of breaking this cycle, and where I have personally found a sense of belonging. It was at the time that Native SOAR had assisted me in not only the offering community, but the resources that we as Indigenous students can utilize and share the knowledge to our mentees. Native SOAR and the mentoring at Tucson Magnet High, I learned that everyone is a teacher and a knowledge keeper, as it is a philosophy for us as Indigenous people. The teachings that we learn and the importance of mentoring in higher education institutes carry such importance, so much that in the article, Indigenous Knowledge Realized, Understanding the Role of Service Learning at the Intersections of Being a Mentor and a College-Going American Indian, by Christine A. Nelson and Natalie R. Youngbull, analyzes the importance of mentoring and how mentoring creates a better learning environment for Native students and introduces the tribal critical race theory, with the purpose of a functional service learning to fit the needs of North American Indigenous college students. In the article, it states, along with cultural and power, knowledge is an important factor of education that offers distinct ways of viewing American Indian issues through an Indigenous lens. On my personal take, it is an address that knowledge of any kind is needed from Indigenous students. By spending time mentoring, it is when I learned that as hard as I have tried to gain the same knowledge as everyone else around me, I grew oblivious to the knowledge that I had from my own experiences. Through this article, I learned that mentoring is an important learning service for Native college students that breaks the unspoken standard that labels what type of knowledge everyone must have and what makes you a knowledge keeper. Growing up, I knew that each of us are given a responsibility as Native scholars. That responsibility still exists to this day, which was to get our education and use our knowledge to assist our tribal nations, our people. It is stated in the article, Factors to Relate to Native American Students, Perceptions of Campus Culture by Symphony D. Oxidine, Deborah J. Todd, and Elise J. Kane, that for many Indigenous students, pursuing a college degree is more than just furthering their education for their own gain. It is a means of reciprocity to be able to observe their communities by gaining access to power, authority, and an opportunity to exercise control over the affairs of everyday life. This statement carries very much truth for Native scholars as we carry the weight of generational trauma of our people and ancestors with us. Our ability to use the combined knowledge of our traditions in higher education can help our homes and to strengthen the presence of Indigenous scholars in universities by breaking a cycle of oppression and bias and creating a new cycle of healing. It is through Native SOAR that we were able to not only gain knowledge of what Indigenous college students face when going to universities, but also the different types of trips that we attend that give us knowledge of the tribes around us and how their youth have the same experiences and goals in mind as us. We each have our own struggles and challenges that are thrown at us when pursuing our education, and to carry generational trauma through our journey can take its toll. To be able to find community, whether through places such as Native SOAR, NASA, TOSA, or AHA, or Indigicats, I am lucky enough to have family and friends that support me just as much as I support them through their challenges. I am truly grateful to be a part of such an amazing group of mentors and teachers that hold so much knowledge of their own and have so much support from my family, and to be able to support others in their journey to pursuing their educational goals. Each and every day I am proud to be able to represent any and all Thanaatam, Shoshone Paiute, and Indigenous students the best I can. And most of all, thank you, Mom and Dad, for pushing me to be the best I can be. Hogadai, Sin Yukud Ninatam.